a Disney teen star starting out dancing with giant teddy bears, but then stripping down to a flesh-covered bikini for a raunchy duet with Robin Thicke. Cyrus's racy performance stunning everyone from the stars of the show, like Will Smith and his family, to music fans now setting Twitter on fire. Dana Lash is host of The Dana Show. She joins us. Nice to see you, Dana.
Thanks, Greta, for having me back.
And let me guess, you loved it, right?
You know, I guess if you like a nightmare that involves Teddy Ruxpin and Jim Carrey's Vera DeMilo character from In Living Color back in the early 90s, yeah, then I guess, you know, if you throw all of those things together, it was wonderful. I've never seen anything like that. Greta, there's two things that Miley needs that I think everyone in America can kind of agree on: Jesus and squats.
You know, everyone is so scandalized by this, and I guess because I didn't follow her career very much, I just thought of, well, this looks like Hollywood. I mean, it's not, you know, this is the kind of junk we're seeing, you know. And I guess that if you have a history with her and you watched her grow up, you know, you're more scandalized than the rest of us who are sort of callously saying, you know, this is never going to clean up at this point.
Well, yeah, and the thing with this too, Greta, is you don't have to be shocking for the sake of shock in order to be artistic. And it just seems as though a lot of entertainment nowadays thinks that vulgarity is somehow a substitute for skill or a substitute for talent, and it's not. I mean, during this same evening, we saw amazing performances from Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake. That's what it's about. That's being a good performer. And they don't need to walk around in nude latex, you know, two pieces and twerk with Robin Thicke to do that.
You know, I guess the thing that worries me is that here I have this segment, I put this video up, I bring you on to talk about it, and we're all talking about it, but, you know, it's like, you know, in some ways we're giving it more attention so that if you happen to miss it last night, you're going to see it tonight, and if you happen not to talk about it at work today or wherever you were, you're going to tomorrow. You know, we're not putting the other ones up.
Well, I mean, and that's just it. It gives her the buzz that she needs. But unfortunately, I just don't find that interesting. And I don't know, there were a lot of people in the audience as well that apparently didn't find it as interesting in the vein that perhaps the people who were choreographing and designing this number, perhaps that they wanted. It didn't measure up to the other acts that were presented that night. She wasn't a good performer with this. I mean, how often have we seen something like this, Greta? It's not a substitute for skill.
It's pretty ugly. But I'm curious, does this help her career? Is that where we've come to? I mean, like, this will, you know, ultimately actually sort of, I mean, in the sick, twisted way, does this help it?
I think perhaps in a way, maybe it does, because it puts her name out there. I mean, all publicity is good publicity, isn't it? She's getting a ton of it today, and she's certainly going to be getting more of it tomorrow. But in the long run, though, it seems like it's a flash in the pan. You have to have some substance to back this up. Anybody can do shock, and shock gets really boring and tiring after a while, and you have to follow it up with something a little bit more substantive. And she doesn't have it. She doesn't have a great singing voice. I mean, she's a pretty girl, but, you know, that's kind of where we are with this. People will remember it. They'll remember it.
And I'm sure a lot of people watched it with you know, young family members last night. Probably aren't too happy about what they saw. But you know, but it's not. You know, but frankly, it's not. You know, it's like, you know, if you don't turn it on last night, you'll get it someplace else. You'll get it at the movie theater or someplace else. So, you know.
Right.
But anyway, I guess that's where we are. It's regrettable. That's where we are.
Exactly Dana,
Dana, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.